What's up, everybody? My name's Naimah. It's good to see you again. I am an artist here on YouTube, and I also am an art student in school, and I make a lot of cute, fun, creative, nostalgic arts, you could say. I just wanted to film this intro to say hi. If you are coming back to my channel, hello, how are you, beautiful human? And if you are new here, what's up, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to see you. Decided to, like I said, film an intro just so I can talk about what this video is going to be, a procrastinate with me vlog. I mentioned it in my last vlog, or the one before that, whatever time this video comes out. I mentioned the procrastinate with me vlog, which is basically a vlog that allowed us to, me and you, me and you to procrastinate for a little while, and then, once we're done procrastinating, we can get down to business, do our work. I'm not saying procrastinate as in a bad way or as in to encourage not doing your work, but as a way to encourage you to take a break and to this is a scheduled procrastination / rest time. So you can watch this vlog, you can do your own art, you can do your own homework while you watch it, or you can just, like I said, enjoy the video, get some snacks, take a little break, and that way it's kind of a guilt-free type of thing. And that's the type of vibe that I want it to be. It's not to make you feel bad for not doing your work, it's not to make you feel bad about anything. It is simply a way to indulge in your own free time, and a way for me to be hey, these are some clips of me procrastinating or just doing fun stuff, when of course I could be working. I mean, we could all be working right now, but there are times that we also need rest too, and you could be resting. So I have a really hard time with taking breaks. I talk about this all the time. When I'm laying down watching TV, my brain is always you could be doing something with your hands. You could be doing art right now because your hands aren't doing anything. So I feel we're just kind of wired to think that we always have to be doing something. And I really want to just get better at actually resting. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you've had a great day, a great week. And if you haven't, then I'm really sorry, and I'm sending lots of love to you. And I hope this vlog can just encourage you to do some stuff for fun. You know how you watch a vlog and you're just dang, I wish I could be doing more. No, this vlog is encouraging you to rest and do less, because you also deserve to do that. You deserve to just exist and do nothing. So let's just exist together, okay? Just a little bit, just for a second. Let's just exist. Found a hat that fits on my head, so I'm wearing it today. I have class in a little while. I just wanted to film this intro before I had to leave. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this vlog, and I hope you have a great day and a great time resting. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I hope to see you at the end of this vlog. Bye. Bye. So I didn't get a chance to mention this in the previous clip because I didn't know if I was going to do it or not, but this is also a Q&A video. So I decided to come on and go ahead and just answer one of the questions that I got, which was about some of my favorite color palettes. They said they needed some inspiration. So I make my own color palettes on Procreate. I always use pastel colors. I love pastel colors. I've been leaning more towards warm colors because fall time is coming up, so a lot of browns and reds and oranges. And ever since I started using the feature of being able to customize and also title my palettes, I don't have to guess what colors I want to use anymore, because I used to try to pretend that I would remember the colors I was using and just kind of go crazy. But this feature of being able to save the colors that you're using in a particular palette is just mwah, chef's kiss. So I'm gonna put my color palettes that I made up on the screen, just a couple of them, so you can get some inspiration from that. There's also this website called Colors Co, which is really cool, and it can generate color palettes for you, and I'll insert a screenshot of what the website looks like. But I think it's going to make you try to pay for it, but you can just use the free online version. You can get away with it, it's fine. But yeah, basically you can just generate color palettes. If you like one color, you can click the lock button and keep generating it until you get the colors that you actually like. So use that website. It's a great resource, and I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I know how hard it is to pick colors sometimes. I'm very indecisive, so hopefully that helps. Hi guys. So I'm in the ceramic studio right now, and I decided to come and get some work done after class. I thought it was a really good opportunity to talk to you guys and answer maybe one or two of the questions that I got. I'll probably try to answer some throughout the video while I'm doing different things. I thought that would be like an interesting thing to try to do. So yeah, right now I'm just working on a project that I have for school, and it's not technically procrastinating because I am supposed to be doing this eventually, but some of the earlier clips that I did, I was doing stuff for fun, and I just decided to go ahead and do this for fun as well. So I'm just like experimenting. This isn't gonna be like my final project that I turn in, but I just wanted to bring you guys along. The technique that we're doing, I think is called like scafato or something, sciviato. I will put it up if I can, or editing Naimah, please correct me. It's this technique where you paint onto your pottery and then you carve out with a tool. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm using this really, really pretty blue color, and hopefully I can do some really cool carving. So one of the questions that I got was, what brings you the most peace, or what's the thing that makes you the most happy, like when you're making it? And I will say, although I've only discovered clay like recently, I've only been doing like this type of ceramic clay for like roughly a couple of months, like almost a year. I think that clay is like my favorite medium to deal with, because I'm strictly 2D a lot of the time. So like I saved up for so long to get an iPad so that I could start digital art. And before that, I was doing a lot of painting and a lot of illustrations and stuff like that. So I think just having like a 3D outlet for my stuff has been really, really like life-changing. I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but I think that being able to put your ideas out into the world in a completely different way is just a really beautiful thing. And I've been having just like way too much fun. This is my 4th time taking ceramics. I basically took all the ceramics that my school offered, and then I asked my teacher like, hey, like what can I do to do more ceramics, because I'm in love with it so much. And I basically forced him to create this entirely new class. He mentioned like, hey, like if we can get people interested, maybe we can like do like a special topics class, and that's the class that I'm in right now. So me and my other 2 classmates who are obsessed with pottery just convinced my professor to create this class. And yeah, that's why I am in ceramics for like the 5th billionth time, because I just didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop creating. I didn't want to stop making stuff. And I think just also seeing your work in a more functional way is really beautiful, because yes, there's something amazing and gorgeous about like a painting or an illustration, and shout out to my 2D people because that's still such an amazing thing to do. But I think that when you can make something that people can also use, like a mug or a plate, like it kind of makes you feel a little bit more valuable, which obviously it's not really about value, it's about what makes you happy. But I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't really exciting to be able to translate your art into something that people can actually use. You know, like, yeah, you can hang up prints on your wall and those are also gorgeous, but I don't know, it's a different way of holding someone else's art and your own art, and I think that it's a really like cool and beautiful thing. Yeah. So I'm gonna let this layer dry, but basically I think what you're supposed to do, I probably will read over the assignment like one more time before I actually do it, is you're supposed to let this dry, and then you use like a tool like this, and you just like carve a design into it before it gets dry. So it's leather hard right now, so it's not wet enough for me to be able to change the form, but it's dry enough for me to be able to kind of like get in there and not change the shape of it. So yeah, I'm gonna try to work on that real quick. I hope I answered that question. I thought it would be a cool question to answer while I was doing the thing that I love. So yeah, ceramics, I love it. It's my newfound love. I'm obsessed with it. It makes me really happy, and no matter how many mistakes I make in ceramics, it doesn't like it doesn't diminish my love for it. It doesn't make me want to quit or make me want to stop doing it. And I think you walk into ceramics knowing that it's gonna be a mess and you're gonna suck, and that's okay. And that's what I love about it. So yeah. Another question that I got was, do I ever walk away from a project and then feel guilty for it? And then how do you deal with that guilt? I'll put the questions up on the screen, but I think that's basically the gist of the question. And wow, that is a really good question. So I would say that I do deal with the guilt of walking away from things, and I do tend to walk away from projects if I feel like it's not coming out like how I want. My brain is the type of brain that will literally like just either keep messing up what I'm working on, or it'll just somehow I'll find a way to not actually get done what I need to get done because I'm just kind of over it. I know I mentioned earlier that ceramics is one of those things that it makes me not really want to walk away from it because I love it so much. But I do have days where I'm working on projects and maybe it's not coming out like how I want, and then I'm just fed up. And I think a good way to look at it is really just letting go of that like guilt and shame when it comes to walking away from stuff that you don't really want to do anymore. Because when you create art, more than likely you're creating it for yourself. And if you're only creating it for one reason, like if you only have one motivating operation, or if you only have one thing that motivates you to do something, I think it's easier to quit and walk away from it and feel guilty about it when you're only doing one thing. Like for example, if I was only creating art because of the money or because of other people, then if I wasn't making money from my art, it would be really easy for me to feel guilty, like, ugh, why am I not making money from my art? Like, why am I doing this? But because there's multitudes of reasons for the like why I create and things like that, like I think it helps me not give up super easily when it comes to stuff like that. So understanding like, where is that guilt coming from? Are you feeling guilty because you feel like you owe it to someone to finish that project? Are you feeling guilty because you think that you have to get something out of it? And I think once you start to address those questions within yourself, I think it really helps. So if I feel guilty about drawing something or not finishing a drawing, I think the first thing that my brain goes to is like, oh, I didn't finish this drawing, so now I can't post it. I have nothing to post. Or, oh, I didn't finish this product, so now I can't sell it. Or, so I think when you approach a project, understand why you're doing it. Are you doing it so that you can sell it? Are you doing it to show other people? Or are you doing it because you love it? And I think that's when the guilt will start to kind of dissipate a little bit. Because you shouldn't feel guilty about doing things for yourself. And you also shouldn't feel guilty about taking breaks and walking away from things that you really need to walk away from. Because like I said, my brain is the type where I will just either mess up the project I'm working on even further because I just don't want to do it. And I think the best way is to step away so that you can gain perspective. It's just like when you're staring at a paper that you're writing for hours and hours, like you start to jumble the words. If you turn it in before like giving your eyes a fresh start, it tends to have a lot of typos, or it tends to have stuff that you really didn't even notice was there. So I think just stepping away and understanding that that's okay can just allow you to get fresh perspective, and then you'll actually miss it. Like they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Same thing with art. I think that if you take a break from something that you really like to do, you will find yourself missing it, and your brain is almost like building up this charge of creativity that it's gonna like explode one day. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. I hope that helps. I'll probably try to go more in depth with it in another video or later in this video, but I just wanted to touch on that while I was doing this because I know I mentioned that ceramics, it's really fun for me, so I don't tend to walk away from it very often, but I also do walk away from ceramics too. So thank you, Gabby, for that question, and I hope that it helped you. So guys, I just decided to switch to voiceover mode because it's kind of hard for me to talk while I'm actively doing work. I feel like I don't get to always 100% say what I want to say. So I decided to just finish working and doing stuff for fun in the studio, but then just answer more questions during the voiceover. So the next question that I had was, how do you think your art changed? And I would say that my art has definitely changed into a more like happier style. Like it makes me happy to do it, because when I first got into art, or when I was doing art in high school and stuff, I think there's this kind of pressure to do like realism and like this whole like finding your own style, and that it's not real art if it doesn't look like it's like leaping off the page at you. And I think I definitely fell victim to the era of redrawing the same reference over and over again from Pinterest and like deviant art, like those random websites. Like I never got on Tumblr like that, but I think I'm sure the same images circulated from Pinterest to Tumblr and all that. So just any of those, I would just kind of recreate people's art, and I would kind of just not have a lot of original like ideas as far as that. But I think that I definitely have grown in the sense that, yes, I still use references, but I'm much more like, okay, I just need to know how to draw a fish because I forgot how to draw one, but I'm not actually copying exactly what the fish looks like. You know, it's more like inspired, not necessarily like a copy anymore. And I think now that I've also been expanding into the realm of 3D, I get to do like a lot more like cool things. I think my stuff is much more colorful. I used to be very, very afraid of color. I was actually afraid of like ruining my pieces with color because I didn't know how to. So I did a lot of black and white, a lot of pencil. And like I mentioned before, I saved up for like a couple of years actually to get an iPad and do digital. And I got to do a lot of experimenting with that. And then I started to paint and be more comfortable with color. So I definitely think it changed for the better. And I'm really happy that I'm not as afraid and timid to try new things. Also, I just wanted to pop in and say thank you so much, Valerie, for all of these really great questions. You really motivated me to actually complete this video because I didn't get that many questions, but you had basically all of them. So this video is like basically dedicated to you. So thank you, Valerie. But yeah, the next question that you had, or that Valerie had, was when did you start intentionally creating art? And I've been creating art for a long time. I was unfortunately didn't get to have art in school. Once I reached the seventh grade and we moved to a new town, we didn't have art in school anymore. So from seventh to high school, I had to basically motivate myself to make art. And that was really hard because I'm not a very like self-motivating person. Like I've gotten a lot better, but it's very hard for me to motivate myself to do things. So I basically just made art for fun every once in a while. And it wasn't until I was about like 16 or 17 where I actually was like, wow, I really miss this and I really love doing this and I don't know why I stopped. So around, yeah, 16, 17 is when I started actually doing it and taking it more seriously. And then like years later, after like the pandemic happened, obviously 2020, I started watching like studio vlogs and I realized like, wow, I really want to start like selling my art and figuring out like, ooh, I love packing orders and like seeing people pack orders and do all this cool stuff. So that kind of bleeds into your next question of how I started selling my art, which, or what was the push to sell my art. And the pandemic definitely, like a lot of other people, inspired me to do it, because at first I was like, I feel like this is a terrible time to start a business. And then I was like, well, it kind of is the perfect time because you're at home, you're creating a lot more than you used to. So maybe you should just do it. So I decided, after like months and months of watching some of my favorite artists like Cheyenne Barton and Paloma the Peach and Meg Studios and Radia and Cup of Jasmine, Cat Creature, even Uncomfy Studios, to name a few, it really pushed me to do it. And I was like, you know what? If I don't start, then it's never going to get done. And I have a bad habit of thinking that there's this perfect time to do stuff and that I need, oh, the perfect setup, the perfect desk, the perfect lighting, the perfect camera. And it's like, that's literally not a thing. So I had to just like suck it up and I had to start. And I started creating, doing stuff that I thought was cute. And it was hard in the beginning because I thought like, is this not enough? What should I do? I looked to other shops to see what they were creating, and I'm a lot better now because I think now I just look to myself when it comes to what I want to create and what I want to put in my shop. So it's not a lot of me like scrolling through like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's a lot more like calming and a lot more like like zen when I create stuff. I'm just like, oh, I think this would be cute, like to put like a boba bear, like I don't know, like a blueberry, like and make a bear out of a blueberry. I don't know. So I think that's what really pushed me, and I started like creating more. And before I even started my shop, I actually was doing just like custom paintings and stuff. And I had taken a break from school to focus on my art career, so I was doing custom paintings via Instagram, and I was taking like commissions and repainting a lot of basic stuff, I guess you could say. I went back kind of to not necessarily fan art, but I would look at a picture, or look at a popular trend that was happening and be like, I can paint that, and then people would be interested in it. So that's how I first got into like selling my art. But I realized like I got tired of painting the same thing over and over again. Like, you have no idea how many paintings I have back home that people like didn't pay me for, or that I didn't get to send. And it just became kind of sad because I spent months and months just not in school. It was kind of like depressing. I was like dealing with anxiety at the time, and it was therapeutic at first, but then I stopped really enjoying painting the same thing over and over again for people because they were just interested in the same things. And I realized like if I don't want to paint the same things anymore, I have to make a change. And that's what I did. I started creating more for myself, and that's how I got here today. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. It was very, very long winded, but I had so much fun creating this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Those are all the questions that I got, and hopefully one day I can do another Q&A. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this vlog. Bye. My first mug. watch her in that I like better than others. Like Monte Carlo. I watch that all the time. I love that movie.